Hi, I'm Andrew from The Foolish Couple. In our blogs, we typically talk about the things that money can't buy, which are health, time, and love. Today, I want to talk about something that is affecting our health that you may not even be aware of. I'm talking about the known toxic chemicals in our food supply. While many of you may be following the latest sports scores, the Hollywood scandals, or the political issues that are happening all around us, did you catch the news that can affect your health and the health of your family? I bet you most of you probably missed it. It was buried amongst all the glorious mumbo-jumbo of politics, scandals, and of course, sports. But I read it and I'm here to share my thoughts with you. There were two very important reports that came out last week. One was from EWG, which stands for the Environmental Working Group. EWG released the latest results of their testing for potentially hazardous chemicals in our drinking water across the United States. This report even made its way into my local city news, Patch News. What they found with the Alameda County Water District, which is where I live, totally shocked me. They found that there were 14 contaminants and that 3 of these contaminants exceeded EWG's healthy guidelines. Of course, all 14 contaminants are under the federal government's legal limits, but what is legal does not mean it is safe. The EPA has not set a new tap water standard in almost 20 years. Some of those standards are still being used are over 40 years old. There is lots of current research that shows that these legal limits are just not safe. What is scary is that in my local drinking water, the 3 that exceeded the EWG healthy guideline levels can potentially cause cancer. And they are anywhere from 2.3 times to 360 times over the health limit. So I looked up the water supplies around the Bay Area, and the other water districts that supply to the rest of the Bay Area are even worse than mine. They range from 11 contaminants with more than 5 that exceeded the health limits to the worst ones, which supply Mountain View and Santa Clara. They have 23 and 25 total contaminants respectively, and 11 of them exceeded the EWG's healthy guidelines. That's crazy, right? The water you drink is just not safe. Water is the most important substance. We need to drink water to survive. But now we know that there are contaminants in the water. We can't even safely drink the water out of our own water taps. Now, the other report that came out was from the US Food and Drug Administration, or more commonly known as the FDA. And it basically stated that US consumers are now eating chemical pesticides in their conventionally grown fruits and vegetables. They found that 84% of domestic fruits, 53% of vegetables, 42% of grains, and 73% of samples categorized as other, which includes nuts, seeds, oils, honey, candy, beverages, spices, multi-ingredient products, and dietary supplements have chemical pesticide residues in them. More disturbingly is that the pesticide were highest in the most popular, trendy, healthy vegetables and fruits. 88% of apples and apple juice, 87% of grapes, grape juice and raisins, 91% of lemons and lemon juice, 92.6% of nectarines, 84% of strawberries, those sumptuous, tasty strawberries, 87% of kale, 82% of spinach, 86.6% of cucumbers, and 80% of refined oils. The FDA claims that the chemicals they found are within safe limits. But when is it ever safe to put toxic chemicals inside your bodies? There is abundant evidence that pesticides do pose a risk to human health. Besides, the limits they deem safe are done in short-term studies, not over a lifetime, and they are usually done on mice. The last time I checked, we're very different from mice, right? The scariest part is that the FDA is slowly raising what is considered safe limits for these toxic substances. These new safe limits are substantiated by research that's done not by third-party independent researchers such as EWG, but researchers from the manufacturers of the toxic chemicals themselves. Essentially, the FDA is not setting the limits. The chemical manufacturers such as Monsanto or Bayer now is policing what is considered safe limits for toxic chemicals in the food supply for us consumers. So here's the dilemma. To stay healthy, we need to drink about half our body weight in pounds in ounces of water. So if you weigh 160 pounds, you should be drinking about 80 ounces of water, give or take, which is about 10 cups of water. We know that vital minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients come from our fruits and vegetables, and we're encouraged to eat about 7 to 9 servings a day to get all the nutrients that our body needs, right? But if we follow these guidelines, we're not just drinking water and phytonutrients from our foods, we're also consuming all these added chemicals that are known to be toxic to our bodies long term. So, what can we do about it? First, you need to know, because this typically affects you and your family, to see your tap water quality in your area. Log on to EWG.org and type in your zip code to see how contaminated your water supply is and take precautionary measures to filter out those chemicals. We use a carbon filter for our whole home along with a reverse osmosis for our cooking and drinking supply. As for the chemical pesticide residues in our fruits and vegetables, I suggest you log on to EWG.org again and download the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 list. They publish a new list every year testing all the fruits and vegetables in the United States. Always choose organic for any of the fruits and vegetables listed in the Dirty Dozen and eat conventional non-organic for the Clean 15. But if you really care about your health, just choose organic whenever you can, especially when you are shopping and cooking at home. It's hard to control what we eat when we eat out, right? But we can at least know what we're eating at home, and that's as clean as possible. Also try to cook and eat 75 to 80% of the time of the meals at home to limit the exposure to toxic chemicals in our food sources. More than likely, most of the restaurants we go to will not be using organic vegetables or fruits in their dishes. And I really doubt they have a reverse osmosis system to filter the tap water that they serve to you. My goal is to give you the latest news on your health so that you can take proper actions to protect you and your family. I hope this helps you, and I love to hear from you, so please leave your comments below. Until next time, love what you live and live what you love.